Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. Um, these type of videos I normally do on my YouTube channel for the Odyssey Project. I funnel most of my, or I shoot most of my live content on Facebook, built around the Visionetics Institute, self-improvement, personal growth, things that we should all aspire to. And I deal with the issues predominantly when it comes to video and content, at least. When it comes to the Black community and the ills of the Black community, I normally handle that on my YouTube channel and then funnel it to Facebook. But the live shootings or the streaming I normally do uh, starting on YouTube. I decided to do this today because I believe I have more male followers on Facebook than I have on YouTube. Slightly, not a big difference, but I think that Facebook has a stronger capacity to get this beyond those who would just normally automatically see it. And I want every Black man to hear what I'm about to say this morning. And I want every Black woman to also listen in to gain an understanding of what it is that I'm speaking on. I'm not speaking from a platform of perfection. I don't have it all figured out, but I have put uh, uh, I'm pushing 90,000 hours of research um, into our understanding our plight and where we're at and some of the primary issues. You know, I've spelled that out in my book, The Miseducation of Black Youth, and also as well as Born in Captivity, Psychopathology as a Legacy of Slavery. Numerous articles, numerous videos, speeches, lectures. But I want to talk about something that's dear to me and hits close to home more than I would like to admit. And it's something that we've got to hash out. We're crippling our young boys with falsehoods that have been passed down from generation to generation that sets these paradigms in their mind of what a real man is and how a real man behaves and how a real man functions. And you give them these paradigms and you set these standards in their head that they operate by, and then when they find they can't fulfill them and they find that they don't measure up to them, they go back into a corner and they suffer in silence, and we never ever draw strength from one another. I was sitting down yesterday. I've been dealing with some things, and I called a friend that I could have just called and he would have been there for me, but I told him I needed to sit down and talk with him face to face. He made time. He's a mentee. He made himself a mentee of mine, you know, maybe four years or so ago, and he became a friend. I still mentor him. I still share with him, but he's a friend. He's proven himself to be a friend. We sat down and we talked. And my question was, with so many gifted brothers, myself included, doing some pretty exceptional thing, why are we struggling, it seems, in areas of life that we should be excelling? And he real simple, real simple, like, which is his way. He's just real direct. He says, dude, he says, it's a pride built on the lie that we were told when we were little boys. You know those lies that we tell little boys. Real men don't cry. Real men don't show emotion. Real men don't show weakness. Real men stand on their own 2 feet. They don't need help. And it's so many more. I mean, we talked about a lot of them. And it's the idea that you're telling little Black boys that they can't cry. They can't feel pain. They can't have an emotional moment. Now, I don't believe that a man should be moved by his emotions. He should be able to, one thing men should be able to do, and it should almost be natural, is to be able to get out of the emotion when it's time to make decisions, when it's time to make moves. We shouldn't make emotional decisions, but we have the right to feel. And yet what we see is a bunch of men, and what he was saying was this, because we were talking about friends and that we know and we love, and you know the truth of the matter, we all got hardships and we're going through some things, but we're doing it alone. And he says, man, you know, the one thing I love about you is you will call me. You'll sit down, you know, with the time you've put in and at your age, you know, you could easily just sit out there and just act like everything is good, and everything isn't good. As a black man fighting and being proactive in the fight, it's definitely not good. As a black husband that wants to give his family everything, it's rough. And yet everybody's out there. And I know far too many people that if you took their income away, it wouldn't take a month for everything in their life to fall apart. They're gifted, they're smart, they're grinding. This isn't the lazy black man. This isn't the black man that's just sitting over there hoping somebody comes along and dumps something in. These are people who are getting up and putting in work every day. Geniuses at what they do, but they're struggling. And as my mentee said, and I can say his name, he won't have a problem with Michael Jordan, as he said, we are so worried about being judged because we're not standing on our own 2 feet. Judged because we're going through an emotional crisis and we're feeling the weight of the world and we can't show it. We're hiding in a corner just suffering on our own. All of these different things that we were told when we were little boys that we had to be if we wanted to be a real man is killing us. And sisters, I ask you to listen in, because don't be the extra weight. Demand everything out of your man that he's capable of. But understands that when he walks out that door, he's going into a world where he's the least respected, has the least opportunities. He's the most underemployed and underpaid person in this country. That's statistically. I'm not making an excuse. I believe in us. I believe we can do some exceptional things. Many of us have proven it. But the thing is, here's where we've got to change. We've got to start understanding that that bull crap about a real man stands alone is just that. It's BS. Because even the men that you look at out there and you say, okay, they got everything they want. You know the men I'm talking about, white men. They don't stand alone. They operate in a system that was built for them, to prop them up, to give them an advantage, to hold one another. I have been mentored by white men. Most of the things I learned in business, I tried to get black people to teach me. Black men wouldn't get close to me. So I had mentors that took me on. And this is the one thing that the one that spent the most time with me, the one that I can call now, he told me, he said, here's where we're different. If you as a black man don't like another black man, you won't do business with him solely based on the fact you don't like him. As a white man, I can see another white man not like him, but if I can trust him and he can produce, I'll work with him. We're going to get that money. Then I'll go home to my wife and talk about him like a dog. Whereas in you guys, if you don't like each other and you even try to work together, it's going to be a problem. Because you put so much energy on liking, and then there's this idea that you don't need anybody. Everybody needs somebody. And what I see is a bunch of gifted brothers standing alone. Everybody's sitting up there trying to hold up something and prop up something and give this facade of pretension that everything is grand and you're on your own, and it's brothers around you that if you came together, pooled your resources. And I'm not just talking about money, but I am talking about money. I'm talking about pool your resources. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who's good at this? Who's good at carpentry? Who's good at bookkeeping? Who's good at investing? Who's good? All of this stuff is something we should be coming together as one and doing, so nobody gets left behind. It shouldn't be one black man that's trying, and this is the key word, trying. There shouldn't be one black man that's trying, that's standing on his damn own. But we keep teaching these babies. That's one thing that I instill in my boys that I work with. That's one thing I've instilled, and I talked to Michael. He's 36 years old. And he's a mentee, and I've got other guys that I mentor. And it's the same thing teaching. You're no island. You're not gonna do this on your own. And yet sometimes I find myself in my shell, damn near killing myself, trying to get something done. We've got to get out of that mentality that we got it all figured out, or we gonna figure it out, that we can do it. If I sit up and say I need help, I'm less than a man. No, I'm a smart man. If I sit up and say I can't do it by myself, I'm not less. Stop thinking that we can do something that a group that's propped up can't do. We got a whole system just waiting to pounce on us, and we think we can do something that the system owners can't do. They are winning because they move and operate together. Sisters, a house divided against itself cannot stand. I'm not saying don't be honest with your man. You need to be honest with your man, but you need to also understand what he's up against. And you girls have been taught some stuff that I hear these conversations and I pass by them. I don't participate in them, but I watch them and I laugh because, like I said, I put in almost 100,000 hours, close to 90,000 right now, hours of research in understanding almost everything you could ever want to know about us from a psychological perspective, socioeconomic perspective, historical perspective, academic perspective, all the political perspective, all of these different things. And you get all these things. So who pays the bills in your house? You know, do you share the bills with, you know, do you help pay the bills in your house? And all these women, you know, if my man, if he can't pay it, he can't take care. Let me tell you something. The black man is the most underemployed, underpaid person on the planet. Black women out-earn black men in America. The chance, and check this out, there's 1.5 million black men missing. So it's only 83 black men for every 100 black women. So it's a shortage already. And the vast majority of them don't have jobs that they can sit up and support the entire household. Now, technically, that's not true. See, technically, if you're willing to step your lifestyle down, if you're willing to get out them red bottoms, if you're willing to sit up and say, I'll take a regular mid-sized cars, I don't have to have a Benz, then maybe he could. Maybe if you downsize to a smaller house, maybe he could. But if you're looking to live a life where you're comfortable and you like what you have, it may take two of you for a while. And I'm not saying that the black man shouldn't strive to sit his wife down, because see, that's what I did. I didn't like what my wife was going through at her job, and I told her to leave. I knew it was going to be tough because I'm still rebuilding and I'm still growing my business, and she's got to get hers off the ground. But I did it because it was literally killing her. And she's a worker. It's nothing about her. It's not a lazy bone in her body. She's a worker, but it was destroying her. So I said, hey, I got it. We're going to figure it out. And it ain't easy because I've got myself in so many damn things where I have no support. Nobody's supporting the Black Man Lead Rite of Passage Initiative. I mean, my total organization, the Odyssey Project, which Black Man Lead falls under, has been in business as an organization for 15 plus years. And I've yet to raise $7,000 total. From outside, everything I've done, I've funded. That's a heavy load. Michael has his organization, Endowing Hearts. He's constantly feeding the homeless, providing clothes for the homeless. We've gone out, Michael and I went out to a part of Houston in which there's an entire community of school-age children squatting with their parents in a condemned apartment complex. No running water, no electricity. And we engaged that. But the thing is, there's no collective support. We got people out there like my brother T. Ben and Autumn Ra and Melanated Men of Action and Melanated Media, and they're doing their things. But what would happen if everybody decided, you know what, let's come together? I don't have to give up my vision to be a part of a collective. I just have to be a part of a collective and care about more than just what I'm in. And then we're going to sit up and we're going to support one another. We're going to be able to pick up the phone call. There's no way a Black man should be out there trying to do right by his family and his community and standing alone. But see, we're competitive with one another. We are intimidated by anybody that may be able to do something better than us. We are afraid that if somebody hears we're having a rough time, it will diminish how they feel. I don't give a damn what people think about me. I've bust my ass all my life. I've been to the top of the mountain where money was never an issue, and I got knocked flat on my back, and I'm on my way back up. And I don't care what people think about me because I put in the work and the things that I practice and I teach and I work and I do. I spent a lot of my life, and so I don't care what people think, but most people are caring. No, most people aren't going to have this talk because they're worried about what people, I don't care what people think. What only thing I care about is seeing black men in a position to do what men need to do for their homes, for their families, and for everything else. We can talk, we can have all these damn debates we have on social media about what needs to happen. But if we don't have strong black men working together, it is not going to happen. We can gain some altitude because the spiritual prowess of our women will lift us. But y'all got some problems too. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk to you about that later on today. That's holding us down. Now, and the thing is, we as black men aren't creating the environment we need to create for our women to demand anything from them. Oh, that hurts. I know it hurts. Because no man who's busting his ass want to hear you ain't good enough. But until we connect, until we demand something more of ourselves as a collective unit, we're not good enough. We're not providing safety for our women. We're not providing financial security on a grand scale for our women and our children. We've got all this giftedness. I know brothers that are beasts at what they do. I know brothers who are beasts in the world of academia. I know brothers who are beasts in the world of business. I know brothers who are beasts in the world of technology. And yet, here we are. Here we are, trying to bear a burden of a lie that was told to us when we were young tykes. Black men don't cry. I cry. And I don't hold back. It's a part of who I am. If I wasn't supposed to cry, I wouldn't have tear ducts. I have emotional moments. I'm not one that's going to go out screaming. I'm not going to fight and argue when I'm in an emotional moment. One thing my wife did, I don't raise my voice. There's a way you handle a woman, and sometimes she giving you the business, but I'm not going to raise my voice. If I've got to call it off until it's a better time, whatever. But I still have those feelings. I still got to deal with those feelings. And I got to come back and perform after I deal with the feelings. And then, you know, I stand alone. How in the hell is the most marginalized person on the planet going to stand alone? Hell, the people who are marginalizing him don't stand alone. We've got to stop putting these unreasonable burdens and expectations on our people and understand that our strength isn't in being some Superman or Superwoman. Our strength is in our connectivity and unity. You can go back to the 60s when J. Edgar Hoover, the racist director of the FBI, when he was asked what's the greatest threat to this country, he said black unity. And he did everything in his power to disrupt it. Everything in his power to disrupt it. It's going to be our responsibility to get out of our feelings. It's going to be our responsibility to put down old faulty paradigms. It's going to be our responsibility to sit up and say, you know what, this isn't working. We're going to have to do something else. Again, no black man who is honestly trying to do right by his family and his community should be standing alone. None. Absolutely none. There's power in number. When you pool your resources, one of the things that I did in that community where all these poor people were, and a great deal of them were squatting in this building, I told them, I said, pool your resources and leverage your buying power, from everything from toilet paper to utilities. Create a situation where you are buying in bulk and paying less per unit. It's simple. Pool your resources. We do something else that's absolutely ridiculous that those who are oppressing and marginalizing us don't do. We push our babies out the house. 18, you're grown, you got to go. I would like to think that at 18, I was reared by some old-fashioned people that gave me a bunch of old-fashioned values, my great-grandparents. And I still wasn't prepared at 18 to face life. I wasn't. Hell, I was probably in my 30s before I halfway figured out what the hell was going on. Now, did I experience a lot of success? Yes, but everything isn't about the bank account. How was I with women? How was I treating women? How was I as a father? How was I as a leader in the community? We are not preparing these boys to be functional, pro-social men. We're erroneously socializing them into a position and an expectation that they can't meet. This has to stop. We are going to have to find ourselves and love ourselves. We are going to have to find in ourselves the need to be one. I mean, when I sit down and I talk to my brother yesterday, and we talked for a while. We talked until I had to leave to go pick up my son. We talked. And the one thing I can say is the reason I love this guy so much is because he's just real. And the thing is, we don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to have the same philosophy on everything. It's not about finding people that believe everything you believe. It's about finding people that love what you love. And if people are loving their wives, I love them. There's nothing more I hold dear than a man loving his wife. Nothing. Than a man loving and taking care of his kids. Than a man being strong influence and model in his community. And if we believe those things, we don't have to believe or have the same philosophy how we get there. If we are truly authentically believing and doing something great, the greatness will come out in our unique perspectives and our unique gifts and the unique approaches that we take. But we've got to unify. We've got to stop allowing one another to go through stuff on alone. And like he said, brother, it's the pride of trying to live up to the lie. That's going to be my goal as far as what I'm going to do. Obviously, I'm going to keep working with these young boys, those who want to support me in doing that, those who have boys you want to bring to me, all of that. I'm going to keep teaching these young boys who they are. I'm going to do that. But also, I'm going to destroy this lie. That's going to be my goal in 2019. Destroy this lie that black men don't cry. Destroy the lie that real men stand alone. What the hell? Real men stand on their own. They don't need nobody. Where the hell that happens at and it's productive? The reason we getting our butt mollywopped is because we're not standing as one. You know, we'll get mad when something happens to somebody else, post some stuff on social media. Ain't nobody going to stand with them. You'll throw up a picket sign. We need to start bleeding for one another. Oh, see, y'all not ready for all that shit y'all talk about. Y'all not ready for that. Y'all talk revolution, but you ain't ready. When you talk revolution, did you ever think for a second that you might have to shed some blood? That you might have to go backwards for a minute before you can go forward? That you might have a lot of people that don't like you, that don't want you on this planet? Did you ever think that if you decide to move against a system that has capitalized off you for 400 freaking years, that it might be some pushback? And that you can't resist that pushback standing alone? We have enough with our genius, with our capacity, with our skill set, with our creativity, with our imagination, that we can create businesses and employ every black man that they won't employ. Pay better wages to those who are underpaid. We have the capacity. Hell, if you look back and you start researching patents, the vast majority of this crap that we capitalizing and everybody eating off of came from one of our brains. And we sitting around begging for the crumbs on the table. For every black man that's listening to this, you don't have to agree with everything I'm saying. But if you know for a fact that we can't make it standing alone, you need to get at me. Because I'm telling you, I'm not going to subject my wife, my children, my boys that I teach to my pride of sitting alone. It proves nothing. I'm challenging every last one of you to come together. Come together and start looking at things from a realistic perspective and determining and deciding what you're going to do. It's no darn way with the gifts we have that we're where we're at. And that's it, man. I'm just like, and I can't imagine what some of my brothers are going through. I mean, all I know is it needs to stop. We need to love one another, love ourselves enough to love one another, and love one another enough to move and stand together and make this happen as a unit. With that being said, I'm going to get off of here, but I will be back. We're going to talk, sisters, we're going to talk. There's some healing that needs to go on. And at an unbelievable level. They've sold you this strong black woman thing so much that you're literally killing yourself. They've got you to a point to where you're literally dying literally spiritual death. And it's killing you physically too. There has to be an amount of first of all, self-love. Then there needs to be an amount of love. There needs to be an environment created where you feel safe, an environment where you're not struggling and fighting and pushing and pulling along. And don't get me wrong, I understand that the black man has played a role in you standing alone. But see, holding on to that won't allow you to move to what's in front of you. The black man is trying to figure himself out too. But what we can't do is destroy one another. And what you can't do is keep up thinking you can do it by yourself. While you can provide a home for a black boy, you can tell him what a woman needs because you know. You can tell him how you feel and believe a black man should behave. The one thing you can never do is what he needs most, and that's model it. While he hears it, he is paying attention and he emulates behavior. From everything from learning how to be standing up to the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he handles women, the way he approaches his work is going to be because he saw a man do it. If not, he will carry your behaviors and your mannerisms in a semi-masculine way into his future. He'll probably be a good wage earner because black women are better wage earners right now than black men. He'll be a good wage earner. He'll be polite. He'll be respected and accepted, but he can't lead. Because see, that can't be taught to it. He has to see it and internalize it. It has to be modeled. And so we've got to come together. Black men, you can't stand alone. And there's no pride, there's no true honor in standing alone and suffering. It stops. It stops. I don't care how I look. I know what I am. I know who I am. I know what I've done and what I'm doing. But I'm not about to destroy myself trying to do it by myself. Share this. Share it with every black person you know, definitely black men. Tag them in here, whatever you got to do, but share it. You know, I'm gonna put it on other platforms and I'm gonna do my part in it, but share it because this has to stop the competition. You know, I had situations, and my wife asked me, you know that person doesn't like you. You know they don't like you. Why do you keep them around? Why are they still on your friends list? Because I'm not going to go around deleting everybody I think don't like me, first of all. Second of all, I believe in what they do. They don't have to like me. I believe in what they do. And I'll pump them up. I'll share what they do. I whatever, because it's not about me. And I've been that way. You know, that was a time I had to learn that, though. I had to learn that it's not about getting everybody to like me and that my feelings can't be involved in this. That I have to understand that for whatever reason, people might not like me, but I have to continue to be me. And me is sitting up, elevating and pushing and empowering people. And some of those people don't like me. But like I said earlier, we got to learn to do some of the things they do, I would never want to do. I would never want to be part of. But one thing I would want to do is be able to have a mindset to say, I don't have to like you in order to work with you. I only need to trust you. If I know you do good business and for whatever reason I'm not liking you, we got to put that aside because we need to do business. We need to make things happen. We've got to get past this. And I wish, I long for the days when I can walk into a room and everybody in that room is better at me than I am at the things I do. That doesn't intimidate me. Someone else's brilliance and shine doesn't diminish mine. When you bring two glowing lamps into a room, neither lamp casts shadow on another lamp. Light can't have shadow cast on it. It illuminates the light in the room brighter. So why be intimidated by somebody else's light? Just work on yours. That's so huge. You can't cast shadow on light. So somebody's brightness doesn't diminish yours. It only adds to what you're able to do in any situation. I want a bunch of bright brothers around me. I want that. I want nothing but strong, bright brothers ready to go get it. And if they're better at me than whatever, I feel good. Because number one is they're going to teach me because I'm going to watch them. I'm going to learn. I'm going to get better at it than I am. But if it's their gift, I may never be better at them than that. But I can be the best me I can be. Look, we've got to stop fighting one another. We've got to stop pretending we don't need one another. We got to stop suffering in silence because somebody's going to look at us and think something one way or another about where we're at and what we're going through. You know, that stuff we taught our kids. Look, every brother out there, I don't care what age you is, you can show this to your 3 or 4 year old. You can show it to anybody you want. You can look at it. Whatever. Look, real men cry. So kill that lie. Real men experience emotion. So kill that lie. Real men can't stand on their own by themselves. This world wasn't designed for that. We are mammals. Mammals are social creatures. Social creatures are best and most effective when they work with one another. No matter what you do, in order for the best of you to come out, you're working with someone else in that thing you do. You know, give you a prime example. I don't know why this came up in my mind, but when you take the members of Take Six, which is a group from the late 80s, 90s, and I think they still do stuff, but they were known for their harmony. Those brothers can sing. All of them could sing. You know, all of them could sing. But no way possible any one of the individuals could produce the sound that they produced together. And it didn't diminish either one of their individual gifts. It showed the beauty of coming together and merging your gifts to create something greater. And that's what we have to do. We've got to stop living this lie because you got too many black men out there trying to do it on their own and afraid to come out and ask other black men for help because of how they're going to be viewed, because they feel like failures, because they need help. Nobody stands alone in this world. And the people you're looking at that you think are doing so great, they created a system so they would never have to stand alone. So stop thinking that your manhood is proven. Your manhood is proven by you doing whatever is necessary to rise up and meet the challenges that the world puts in front of you. And you're going to need some help to do that. With that being said, look, I'm going to get out of here. I absolutely love every last one of you. Not because I think you like me or love me, but because I see me in you. And and the love I have is unapologetic. I don't apologize for it to my white comrades and friends. And yes, I do have white friends that have proven themselves for years, but they know what they can come to me with and how they can come to me. And they know that I'm never going to apologize for the love I have for my people. Absolutely freaking not. I walk out of this house, the first thing people notice about me is that I'm Black. I walk in any room, the first thing people notice about me is that I'm Black. We can sit up and say we don't see color all we want to, but that's bullcrap. Is proven every day. The one thing I can never escape is my Blackness. Whether I'm wealthy or not, I'm Black. So I'm going to leave you with this, and you have a great day.